Hello everybody, thank you for checking out my video today. This is a little tech tip on using a thermal imaging camera to check an electronic circuit or electrical circuit on in this particular case on a motor coach, a C2045 Von Hool. The specific camera I'm talking about is this top-down camera. You can get it on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below. You can get it on sale for about 220 bucks. It's a USB-C camera, and they have other versions, I think, for an Apple device if you have one of those. So I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about the circuit and then what you can see with the camera. This is the diagram of the actual circuit we're going to be checking with the thermal camera, and a particular area of the circuit comes from the K21M relay. If you look closely at the circled area of the diagram, you'll see the K21M relay, and you'll see there's an R16 size cable, so 16 millimeters squared, and then there's also an R6 cable that comes out of the relay that feeds all of the fuses below, the F21M, 22M, 23M, etc. Those all run to individual fan motors, and that's where we're going to pay particular attention on, is the R6 portion of the circuit. Now if we look at the relay on the vehicle, you'll see the K21M relay on the left here, and then you'll see the R6 wire that comes out of the relay on the left side of the relay. And you'll see that larger wire that feeds power to the relay, which is protected by a very large circuit breaker. So if anything happens to the smaller wire, the circuit breaker likely won't trip. To give you an idea what could go wrong here, these fan motors, there's 6 of them on the image here. They draw roughly 4.5 to 5.5 amps a piece. So you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, up to 30 amps can be drawn on these fans when they're running on high speed. So that circuit does a lot of work. Taking some measurements at that small wire on this particular bus we're doing the thermal imaging on, I have 25 point, about 56 amps with just this type of meter, which is not the most accurate, but it's pretty close to giving us an idea of how much current is actually traveling through the wire. Now you may ask yourself, 25.56 amps here and those fan motors are running, there should be a lot more current than that going to the fan motors. And when we get to the thermal imaging portion, you'll see why there's not the maximum amount of current being supplied to the fan motors. The wiring itself, if you look it up, can handle this current load in all good conditions. However, this wire has been damaged on this particular bus and has been repaired. I thought I had an image of that, but I don't. But I will show you an image in the future of one that was also repaired that ended up breaking back down again after we look at the temperature differences that are, or temperature changes that happen when the circuit's operating normally. Just to confirm the current at the fan itself, so it's about 5.1 amps at the original fan made by Eberspacher or Carrier Sutrak, and then the second fan motor is actually 4.63, which is an aftermarket fan. So it's a little lower current, likely a lower speed, and you'll also see it generates less heat when it's running because of this. The other thing to keep in mind is that the connections at the fan motors add additional resistance in them, especially when they're not done very well, as shown in the image here. And these additional resistances can also decrease the current that's supplied to the circuit. So having a decreased current in our case, when you see the thermal images, is actually probably a good thing because it'll keep the heat from getting too far out of control, even though there clearly is still a problem. So let's jump into the thermal imaging. That 6 millimeter squared wire feeds a circuit here at the bottom of the screen on the right hand side. And what I want you to pay attention to is that the fan motors have come on now and the bus is running. And so the condenser fan motors are running at full speed, and you can see the supply and even the hot spots on the actual connections going into the relay, the breaker panel. And so the breaker panel is on the right hand side, just to the right of the 104 degree temperature range. And you can see it almost looks like blood flowing through veins here. But the 6 millimeter square wire running down from the top, branching out on the left hand side, is heating up first because that's carrying all the current load, and then because of all the heat that's generated in this area and other poor connections and splices that were installed, you can see where the additional heat happens from all the excess current that's running through the circuit. So this will eventually lead to a problem again. I mean, this is already 112 degrees now. I think somewhere around 150 degrees, 160 degrees, the thermal insulation is really going to break down. So these haven't been running very long. It's only been running for a few minutes in this case during the testing. I bet you if I went and checked back at it later on, it would be a lot worse. So this particular issue, we'll have to replace the wiring because it's been damaged before, and just repairing the connection. Additionally, you can see that relay with the 6mm square wire on the left hand side is also very hot. So just going back, you can see it's the maximum temperature reading on this chart is 100 and almost 130 degrees already. And you can see some points on there right into the relay base, right into the base itself that are overheated. So this is actually from another bus that had a similar issue in the past that I had an image of, and this is what happens when the circuit is repaired. As you can see, the butts place that was installed, and somebody put a temporary piece or replacement piece of wire in, but the problem still existed. The problem was still there. They had to replace the actual damaged wire, and it ended up overheating and melting the entire assembly down here at the bottom and causing bigger issues than they really needed. So it's really important that for large conductors and current carrying conductors like these, if the wire is brittle or hard or stiff, the whole thing needs to be replaced. You can't just patch a section of it in there. And the thermal camera can tell you if you did a good job or not. It's proof is right there in the imaging. Just as a little side note here, the fan motors that you see in the image, you'll see the three of them on the left-hand side, and then the ones on the right, two on the right-hand side, and then the one at the very top. So the very top and the three left-hand side fan motors are actually the original manufacturer motors, and then the other two that were lighter color, they weren't running as hot, were the aftermarket motors that drew less current. So they're not quite the same. They're not direct replacements, obviously. Something's different between the motors. In this particular case for this bus, it was probably actually helpful that the fan motors did not draw as much current because then it actually protected the circuit a little bit better in the meantime. But they were to replace all these motors and put the full capacity motors in, this circuit would be even more in danger of causing a thermal incident.